Arthropods make up 75 to 85% of all known species, and they make up most of the animals in my home. Let me tell you about their defining characteristics and groups on this episode of Taxonomy Tuesday. These guys possess an exoskeleton with a cuticle made out of chitin, often mineralized with calcium carbonate, and they have a body with different segments and paired jointed appendages. The word arthropod comes from the Greek arthron, meaning joint, and podos, meaning foot or leg, which together literally means jointed leg. The Arthropoda phylum, excluding extinct groups, can be divided in two, based on mouth parts. We have the mandibulata, named after mandibles, a modified part of limbs used in food processing, the presence of which are characteristic of most members of the group. Mandibulates also differ by having antennae, and also by having three distinct body regions, a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. On the other side we have the Chelicerata. The chelicerae, which give the group its name, are the only appendages that appear before the mouth. In most subgroups, they are modest pincers and used to feed. However, spiders, they have chelicerae that form fangs that most species use to inject venom into prey. Let's start with the Chelicerata. To stop myself from starting any controversies, I will not make any comments on how related they are, and I will keep it brief. So for that, first we have the horseshoe crabs, Xiphosaura. The group has hardly changed in appearance in hundreds of millions of years. The modern horseshoe crab looks almost identical to prehistoric genera and are considered to be living fossils. The most notable difference between ancient and modern forms is that the abdominal segments in present species are fused into a single unit, as you can see here. It's pretty obvious when you look at them to see what they are. They look very alien, but I think alien is the norm in the Chelicerata. Up next we have the Pycnogonum, the sea spider. They look like spiders and live in the sea. Pretty clear. I won't dwell on this because it's literally the only animal that creeps me out, and I don't want to look at it too long while editing. So all that is left in the Chelicerata are the arachnida. Adult arachnids have 8 legs attached to the cephalothorax, which is the thorax and the head combined. In some species, the foremost pair of legs has converted to a sensory function, while in others different appendages can grow large enough to take on the appearance of extra pairs of legs. So this brings us at the first two groups of the arachnids, the mites. In most cases, here the abdomen and cephalothorax are fused, so they have no clear segmentation. Here we have the parasitic Parasitiformes, which are the ticks and such, and the Acuriformes, which are a bit more diverse and can be predatory, detrivorous, herbivorous, and fungivorous. Pretty cool. Now let's go a bit further away. The Opiliones are colloquially known as harvestmen, harvesters, or daddy longlegs. These are spiders without silk and very long legs, basically. And next is the Ricunulae, which is a small order of arachnids. Like most arachnids, they are predatory, eating small arthropods. Due to their obscurity, they do not have a proper common name, though in academic literature, they are occasionally referred to as hooded tick spiders. Okay. So, next is the Solifugae. It is an order of arachnid known variously as sun spiders, camel spiders, and wind scorpions. They're basically spiders with clear segmentation remains in the abdomen and with huge chelicea. Now we can continue to the guys that look a bit like scorpions. The pseudoscorpions, also known as false scorpions or book scorpions, are small scorpion-like arachnids, basically tiny scorpions without a tail. So what are actual scorpions? Scorpions, from the order Scorpiones, are predatory arachnids, with 8 legs, a pair of grasping pincers, and a narrow segmented tail, often carried in a characteristic forward curve over the back and always ending with a stinger. Uropygi are similar to scorpions. That's why they are often called whiptail scorpions. But their other name gives us more insight into what the tail is used for. It's called a vinegaroon as well. They use it to spray vinegar as a self-defense. But similar to whiptail scorpions, we have whip spiders, or tailless whip scorpions, and Ambiglypi. They rarely bite if threatened, but can grab fingers with their pedipalps, resulting in thorn-like puncture injuries. They use the thin legs as antennae, which is pretty cool. Now we get to the spiders, Aranea. We all know what they look like, so let's continue to the Mandibulata. Here we have two groups with subdivisions, of course. Myriapods are millipedes and centipedes, a segmented body that's pretty clear to everyone with a clear eye, although there are some millipedes that look like isopods. The other group is the Pancrustacea. Here we have the crustaceans and the hexapods. Insects! Let's start with crustaceans, a large diverse group of mainly aquatic arthropods. This is every type of shrimp, lobster, copepod, barnacle, isopod, etc. And then we have the hexapods. It includes the big group of insecta, the true insects, as well as the much smaller clade Etognata, which includes 3 classes of wingless arthropods that were once considered insects, like springtails. Hexapods are named for their most distinctive feature, a 3-part body plan, with a consolidated thorax and 3 pairs of legs. That brings us to the end. Did you learn something today and do you want to learn more? Leave a comment so I can go more in depth about the group that interests you. Subscribe so you won't miss another video. I've been your host Belgian Bugs on this Taxonomy Tuesday, and I recommend these videos to have a better understanding of the animals around you.